men aren't showing up in dating wholly. Like, you know, there's not enough men.
There's not enough men. Where are the men? Single modern women crisis? Like time crisis? Like half of single modern women will be single by 2030. So it's sort of like a time crisis, isn't it? But again, where are the men? Why are they hiding? I hope you're focused and on your square.
Have you heard about this phrase, heterofatalism? It refers to the fatigue that single women are facing in dating, the fatigue they have with single men.
Heterofatalism.
Danger.
Damn. Wow. Never heard that before, but now obviously learned.
Acknowledged.
So in a sense, women believe men are naturally flawed, therefore that's why dating wouldn't work. It wouldn't build anything towards a relationship and marriage and further. Damn.
Suck it.
So if they believe we're flawed, it's like, what's the effing point to begin with? But let's let her finish.
The argument is that men aren't showing up in dating wholly. Like, you know, there's not enough men at dating events, or when you do meet them, you know, they might be really engaged with you on the date, and then afterwards they sort of back away meekly.
Back away meekly. Men backing away meekly. Hey, back up, men. Meekly. Yeah. Lovely woman making her points. She's spitting bars, to be honest. Well spoken, describing the current state of modern dating. Where are men?
Back away meekly.
Yeah, where are you bastards? You're not turning up?
Nope.
Why are you going to a singles event? What is it, sort of what you're going to feel like you hope to get picked from a crop of desperate men? Is that the vibe of going to those events? I don't know. Comment, tell me what you think. But here again, we have another point, don't we? We have the grand point to a degree, don't we? The disconnect of modern dating. No connections going on. Ironically, a lot of people are still f***ing, but it's like no deeper connections are building on a longer scale type thing. Relationships, in other words. No. But like how women see men as flawed, therefore it wouldn't work. Well, you don't think men would think the same thing? We might not have a word for it like that. I don't think we have a word for it like that, to be honest. We just probably say, it's a typical modern woman.
And I see some truth in it, because specifically at dating events, I go to dating events all the time, and I meet fabulous women all the time, and it just doesn't feel the same for men. And I actually feel like it's an absolutely missed opportunity, because if you're a guy who's single, dating events are made for you. They don't work against you.
What?
Really? Really? Again, to be chosen the best man from a crop of desperate men? That's not what it is. I'm not saying that's what it is, okay? I'm not saying that's what it is. But again, a sort of vibe, a sort of energy. I want to make a point as well. A lot of women know men have no need to go to these events. A lot of women know that. Why? Because a lot of women know they can just get women anyway without going to these events. Yeah? So the question is, I'm not saying it is so, but the question is, do you wonder in the back of some of these women's minds that they think, damn, these dudes must be desperate. You're at this event. I'm not saying, again, that's what it is, but a sort of notion. Yeah? Okay.
Everybody is single, everybody wants to speak to somebody, and women are really there to meet you. So I don't want to say that I'm heterofatalistic. I'm much more of an optimistic person, but I do recognize that it kind of feels like right now, that nobody's really winning in dating.
Nobody is, are they? But the question is, what do you call winning in modern dating nowadays? Because a lot of people are sort of jealous of other people's situations when those people are kind of settling.
Look, it's either me or nobody.
I mean, do they even really want to be together? Some people fear being alone. Do you call those people winning?
Nobody's really winning in dating.
Our generation has become so sick. We have turned the most beautiful thing, finding a partner, into something so ugly that we now think you can form a deep, genuine connection with anyone. There are billions of people in this world. You can always find someone hotter, smarter, richer, better body, taller.
But the question is it both genders seeking better? Is it? Am I being biased and I'm going to say, it's just a woman thing. Women are always seeking the better man.
You're just jealous.
They won't stop until 7 foot tall men are the standard for women. Like, what?
Taller.
More fit, whatever you're looking for. Younger. But you know what you're not going to find? You're not going to find that connection that you built with someone special. You're not going to find that in everyone. And that's what we are taking for granted in today's dating world. Just because you see a hotter person pop up on your screen. Building a connection is saying, hey, I love what I have with this person. I'm going to make it work. And I don't care who comes by, they're not going to interrupt this bond. Because this bond is special and bonds cannot be replaced.
On one hand, you can say that maybe a lot of people do not build connections anymore because it's quicker and easier to just move on or be by yourself than to invest too much emotionally. Because how many heavy emotional investments does any one human being have in their lifetime? Yeah? Because you can love a woman, but you can also love a woman too damn much. Yeah, be easy, bro, be easy.
Focus.
Yes, you can replace the physical body. You can replace something better looking, but you cannot replace the soul connection that you have. And some of you need to just sleep on that.
A lot of people are sleeping on everyone, and maybe it's because everyone's soulless and sleeping on everyone. I don't know. It's because it's like real connections are slept on.
That's all.
Here's a list of things that guys have said to me that made me think, oh, this is not going to work out. One time I was taking a road trip with a guy who I'd been dating for a few months, and I pointed out some trees that were beautiful, and I just kept saying it because they were just so beautiful. And I pointed to a tree and I said, look at how beautiful that tree is. And he said, you already said that.
But you did.
You already said that.
You did already say that.
You already said that.
Okay, we get her point. He got annoyed because she was repeating herself. However, from his perspective, he could have been tired, He probably was annoyed by you, to be honest. He probably didn't fancy that much. You were probably just there, weren't you? And you probably were being annoying. So, come on. It's not one-sided. He could have been tired. He was driving, wasn't he?
And I did not speak for the rest of the drive. One time I was dating a very tall white man and I asked him what his type was, and he said short Asians.
To this day!
Okay, I'm sure some tall white men would say, can you blame us? Can you f***ing blame us? I'm joking.
To this day!
I mean, they can comment themselves and tell you, but look.
One time I was talking about a book that I liked, and the guy who I was dating said, I don't care.
Was it a good book?
No one cares.
Was it a good book, though? Was it? Were you trying to show him why do men love bitches? Yeah? Because it's like, no. Get that crap out of here. It's not literature, that's toilet paper.
I once went on a date with a guy where the total of our meal was $30 and he Venmo requested me for $15.
Hey, half. In some weird sense, it's like as men, we sort of expect a woman to take half, so we expect it up front now. Oh, pay half. Because if I married you woman, you'd want to take half? Interesting.
I once dated a man for an entire month and had to ask him if he thought I was pretty. So I guess in that case, it's what he didn't say that made me know it was not going to work out. One time on a first...
Wait, but did he say you were ugly either? He didn't say you were ugly either? He didn't say you were ugly. So, he didn't say you were pretty either. No, so he probably thought you were mid. Okay, alright.
Date, I was talking about my faith with a guy who had told me he was a Christian, and halfway through, he interrupted me and said, are you trying to recruit me? One time a guy canceled a date on me because he was downtown drinking alone after taking mushrooms with his roommates, but could see himself following Jesus in the future.
You mean like women find the Lord later on in their life? They find the Lord because they can't find a man? Okay.
True story. He sent me a Merry Christmas text 7 months later after not speaking. One time a guy asked me if he could get me something sweet. And he brought me a bowl of frozen peach slices with a massive frozen strawberry on top. And no utensil even, just the frozen...
He could have ADHD, you're probably being rude, so...
Yo, wicked!
Relax, easy.
fruit. I once modeled for my sister, who's a photographer, and did some fun photos, and when I showed them to my boyfriend at the time, he mocked me. Did not compliment any of the photos.
It was probably... It was probably your sister's poor photography. I'm joking. Come on, we're joking, but okay.
One time I got a haircut, and when I went to see my boyfriend at the time, right after getting my haircut, he did not notice, and when I pointed it out, he said, oh. So anyway, those are a few of my happy dating experiences.
What a lovely woman. I mean, what did she just describe? 17 boyfriends? I don't know, it could have been like, a few dudes, but we don't know. We'll just believe it's 17 boyfriends. Okay, well...
Nobody's really winning in dating.
You could be the problem. Okay, so I've got to mute this one because obviously there's some sad girl music playing in the background. Something no one prepared me for in my 20s is the quiet drive home after being the only single person in a room full of those engaged, married, having babies, and being so happy for them and so lost yourself. Wow, there's some sad bars, aren't they? Damn. A single lonely modern woman going through it. But is it because we as men are flawed, really? Or women expect us to be, so they just love choosing the most flawed ones of us? Interesting.
Outstanding.
Come on, get a grip before you crash. Come on. Yeah, I'm not being rude, but come on. It's, shouldn't drive and cry. You see, a lot of men actually speed because it drags the tears off your face. The sad reality for a lot of men is, it does not matter how hard they try, how much they try in life. For a lot of modern women, they will just naturally see them as flawed anyway. Though you can say, they're just projecting. Indeed, the world is yours. Have a nice day.
Nobody's really winning in dating.